Welcome back to Valhalla VW. So, we've got another problem. Alternator's gone. Time to change it. So, a little while ago we changed the water pump because we had a leak and, well, basically the impeller and everything inside and the bearing and everything was just completely shot. So we changed that. However, since we changed the water pump, the alternator has decided it doesn't want to work. So I'll run through the indicators of the problems and what we've checked, and yeah, we'll change the alternator. So our first telltale sign that the alternator might be on its way out was the battery light not extinguishing when the van is running. I'll show you. So the van is now running and this light here should have gone out, but it didn't. So there's our first clue. So once we was alerted to the battery light staying on, next thing was to get the multimeter out and stick it across the terminals, which we did. And as suspected, we weren't getting any charge from the alternator. So this could be caused by one of two things. There could be a broken wire, because obviously we've had an engine swap out by the previous owner. They could have either broken or badly connected a wire, which would obviously affect the agitator on the alternator circuit, which for future reference is the blue wire. Or the alternator could have broke down completely and that needs changing. So, having investigated the wiring a little bit, I have found a broken wire which I have temporarily patched up and still getting no charge from the alternator. So we're going to bite the bullet. We're going to go ahead and fit the alternator today and see whether that cures the problem. If that does cure the problem, then obviously we know the alternator was duff and we can then repair the wiring, and fingers crossed we should have a perfectly good van again. So let's get some tools out again. So in true Valhalla VW fashion, the alternator on here isn't actually meant to be on here. Oh no, surprisingly. The alternator that's on here is off the donor engine and is putting 140 amp hours through the battery, etc, etc. The T4 one, which should be on here, is only a 90 amp. So we've gone back to the T4. We're just hoping that the fitment and everything will line up, which fingers crossed it should, because all the ancillaries up to now have been T4. So let's have a look. So to remove the alternator is a fairly straightforward process. We have to take the pressure off the serpentine belt. Serpentine belt is here, which obviously goes around the end of the alternator, and we just need to take the pressure off here on the tensioner and we'll be able to pop that straight off. Then we have a bolt through here and a bolt up here, so 2 bolts to take off and we should be good to go. We'll see if it's that easy. So we've used a tensioner and we've taken the belt off of the pulley on the end of the alternator. Now we'll remove the 2 bolts holding it to the bracket. So update, we tried the VW T4 alternator and it didn't fit. So went back and now we've got an Audi 80 alternator and it should now fit. So there's the old one and there's the new one.
Oh, look, it's the same.
And there's the head mechanic. There's the head mechanic, the one that knows everything after I've told her what it is.
The alternator came off, tried to...
Blah, 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 blah. So, new alternator's on. Obviously, refitting is just the same as taking it off. So 2 bolts, undo the battery lead, pull the plug off, jobs are good. Just show you it in place. So there we go, new alternator is in place. Serpentine belt's back on. I'm going to replace that shortly. So let's turn the key, see whether we've managed to extinguish the battery light. So there we go, battery light is extinguishing, so we'll just put the multimeter on the battery now, just check that we're getting 14.4 volts through the battery from the alternator. There we go, 14.4 across the terminals means the alternator is charging. Battery light's out, so there's no longer a fault on the charging circuit. So we were right, the alternator was no good, and there we go, nice easy fix, job done. Thanks for watching, hope you found it useful. I say the water pump video is coming next. It should have been before this, but obviously we need to sort the alternator out because the van, well, wouldn't move. So thanks for watching. If it's not too much trouble, hit the like and the subscribe button. We're at 328 subscribers, I believe now, so thanks to all of you, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.